Hi, it's Lindsay Carlson here. I absolutely love the cinema of John Hughes. So anytime one of his movies comes out on the 4K format, I'm always very happy to get my hands on it. Today we're looking at another one of John Hughes' films, which just got the 4K Ultra High Def treatment from Kino Lorber. I'm talking about Uncle Buck, starring the late great John Candy. I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinions. Great close-up there of Uncle Buck at the door and the family hiding on the other side. I like that concept very much. There's our spine text. Back cover. Under the slipcover, the art is basically the same. Inside the package, we get the film in 4K Ultra High Def, and we also get a Blu-ray disc that's sourced from the same new 4K scan, as well as a handful of bonus features. Brand new HDR Dolby Vision Master from a 4K scan of the 35mm original camera negative. The great John Candy stars in this outrageous comedy as an idle, good-natured bachelor who's left in charge of his nephew and nieces during a family crisis. Unaccustomed to suburban life, fun-loving Uncle Buck soon charms his younger relatives Miles and Maisie with his hefty cooking and his new way of doing the laundry. His carefree lifestyle doesn't impress everyone, though, especially Tia, his rebellious teenage niece, and Shanice, his impatient girlfriend. Uncle Buck is the last person you'd think of to watch the kids, but with a little luck and a lot of love, he manages to surprise everyone in this heartwarming family classic from iconic filmmaker John Hughes, writer-director of 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, Weird Science, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's hard to believe we've been out of the 1980s for 35 years now. So why is it, after all this time, even though many elements of them are dated, why do we still love the cinema of John Hughes? And I've got to say, the man was just such a brilliant writer. He was really able to capture a human element when it came to characters, not just teenagers, but characters of all ages, and he manages to make these characters warm and likable, even if they are imperfect and not always the most likable on the surface. In this case, of course, we get a great performance from the late, great John Candy, who stars as Buck Russell, the title character. When the parents of Miles, Maisie, and Tia have to go out of town due to her father having a heart attack, they reluctantly call Uncle Buck to take on the job. And while he quickly charms over Miles and Maisie, the two younger children, Miles being portrayed by a pre-Home Alone Macaulay Culkin, he has a much harder time winning over his older niece, Tia, who would rather go out, be a juvenile delinquent, and spend time with her boyfriend, who of all things is named Bug. And it's not long before he's sharing his freewheeling bachelor ways with the kids, maybe not necessarily being the best influence, but also being someone who's not afraid to stand up for what's right when it's called for. Of course, he has an estranged relationship with his girlfriend, portrayed by Amy Madigan, who's suitably frustrated at the fact that Buck would rather continue to be a freewheeling bachelor who doesn't want to commit, get married, or have children. And throughout the movie, we just see how things unfold for these characters. I mean, we see Uncle Buck protecting children from a clown who may have had a few too many to drink before coming to Miles' birthday party. We see him defending his niece's reputation against an assistant principal who's not exactly the nicest or most honorable person. And we see him having more than a few moral quandaries throughout the film, but through it all, he ends up coming out as a better person, as do a lot of the people involved here. And again, that's one of the reasons I love John Hughes. He certainly captured that human element better than so many other directors. Is Uncle Buck dated? Is it an imperfect film? Absolutely, but it's got charm for days, and I don't think that charm is ever going to wear off. I love Uncle Buck, and it's always a pleasure to go back and revisit this one. I was certainly wondering how Uncle Buck would fare on 4K, given that sometimes vintage comedies aren't exactly the best looking films on the format. And I have to say, I really put my foot in my mouth on this one. Uncle Buck looks absolutely gorgeous in 4K. Words I never thought I'd find myself saying in a review. I mean, right from the get-go, the colors are bright and vibrant when they need to be. This isn't exactly a super bold and colorful film, but all of the natural film grain is intact. The level of detail is quite sharp and staggering for a film this vintage, especially given 80s comedies don't always have the best reputation on home video formats. The addition of Dolby Vision gives it that nice little extra punch. And there's detail everywhere. The scenery looks absolutely gorgeous. Colors are where they need to be. Black levels are where they need to be. There's no digital noise reduction, no unwanted tinkering. I can't believe I'm actually saying this. This is one of the best looking back catalog titles I've ever seen in a 4K home video release. and I wouldn't be surprised in the least if this ended up on my best of the year lists when the time comes. As far as bonus features go, there's not a ton of stuff here, but we do get 2 audio commentary tracks, a theatrical trailer, a new interview with Jean Louisa Kelly, who played Tia in the movie, and although it's not listed on the package, there's actually a very brief audition footage piece from Macaulay Culkin, which runs for less than 1 minute, which, despite its brevity and low quality, is certainly a nice little piece of history. Uncle Buck is one of my favorite comedies that sums up beautifully all the reasons I love John Hughes and all the reasons I love the late, great John Candy. And this 4K disc looks perfect. I have absolutely no complaints with how this looks. Absolute highest recommendations for Uncle Buck in 4K from Kino Lorber. How about you? Are you a fan of Uncle Buck? Is this one of your favorite 80s comedies? You think it's John Candy's best role? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos, and make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.